What is up, y'all? Happy weekend. Happy fall officially. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Does it feel like fall? Probably where any of us are? No. But are we going to celebrate fall anyway? You best believe it. Because here's my thing. Fall is a mindset, okay? It's a place that you go to, all right, in your own head and in your environment. So here's my thing. If it's technically fall and if I want it to be fall, I'm just going to pretend like it is chilly out, like it's a breezy 65 degrees and I can have my little sweater and chunky boots and little boot socks on if I want to. I'm not actually going to wear that because it's like, I think it's going to be like 92 today, full sunshine. But in my head, that's where I'm at mentally. And for anyone saying it's too early, you can just keep that negativity to yourself, okay? You keep your lifestyle choices to yourself, all right? You just leave that over there and let me be a happy autumn girl over here, okay? But no, on that note, I do actually, on a more serious note, if you're putting something off right now, just do it. This is your sign to do it. There's kind of two things that lead me into that, what prompt this on for me. One, this podcast episode. This podcast episode has been drafted and sitting in my outline folder for probably close to, it's about 2 months now since I first started drafting it up. And I was waiting for that perfect timing. And perfect timing doesn't exist. So don't be like me. I didn't even listen to my own advice. And I was waiting and waiting and waiting. And I've just decided, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Now's as good a time as any. Because there's never going to be a perfect time. The opportunities will never be exactly lined up. If you wait for that perfect timing, that perfect opportunity, that perfect whatever, it's never going to happen. And you're never going to be able to do the things that you want to do or that you need to do. Second thing that prompted on about fall. So baby is coming very soon. We are 13 days away from baby month. And also very close to official spooky season, besides just fall. And so I was like, you know what? In my head, it's fall now. In my head, fall also equals Halloween. So in my head, it is now spooky season. And just prepping for baby coming, I'm like, I know I'm not going to be wanting to decorate for Halloween when she's here, which means I do it beforehand, which kind of means do it now. And I'm excited to decorate for Halloween. So I'm like, why not? Every box is checked for me. And I was telling my mom that, and she was like, Maggie, at the time, it was like August 27th, right? She was like, Maggie, that is 2 months before the holiday. That's a little excessive, don't you think? And I'm like, nope. No, I don't. Not for me. Because here's my thing. Okay, so I wait until October 1st. What if baby comes early? You know, dang well, I'm not bringing a spooky season, fingers crossed, Friday the 13th baby into this world and not have my house decorated for Halloween to celebrate her birth month into spooky season. So why not do it now? Okay, so it's up for a little while. You think I'm going to get tired of looking at my Halloween decorations? I don't think so. Maybe. But I don't think so. But if I do it now, at least I know it's done and I don't have to worry about it. Because here's the other thing. What if baby does come on time? But then I'm just exhausted. That's not a far stretch from reality. So if I wait until October 1st to start decorating for Halloween, but then I don't have the emotional energy to decorate, that's not fun anymore. So just do it. And that's why I say, don't wait for the perfect time for anything. If you are looking for a sign to prompt you forward and prompt you into action, this is it. For the good stuff and the bad stuff. If you are waiting for that perfect opportunity, for that perfect edit of that document you're working on, for that perfect whatever, you're already there. Just do it. Just full send. Just send it. If you're waiting to submit that package, if you're waiting to reach out to that person, if you're waiting to send that risky text, if you're waiting to do anything, just do it. And unfortunately, that goes for the bad stuff too, right? Don't just fill up your car with gas now, okay? You are not going to do it in the morning. You are not going to do it before work, I promise you, unless you're like the most dedicated person ever. It's not going to happen. Don't wait to load your dishwasher. Don't wait to start your diet or your workout plan till Monday or the first of the month. Don't wait for anything. And this is kind of the suckier truth to hear, but don't wait for people. If you're waiting for someone to give you that attention back or to give you that affection and that love back, don't wait. If it's not happening now, it's not going to happen later. If there's something, what I really kind of struggle with sometimes is like, I'll find all these really awesome looking adventures to go on, cool places to check out, new restaurants, new hiking paths, new whatever. If you wait to have people go with you, or if you wait for the timing to be right, for everyone to have a free schedule, for everyone to be, not tired, it's not going to happen. Just go. Have those solo adventures. It won't be a missed opportunity, and it won't be a missed adventure. So just do it. I feel like Shia LaBeouf. You remember that? Just do it. Anyway, now that I'm off my influencing soapbox, let's talk about social media and influencers. So this one is, I don't know, I think this one's going to be kind of fun. It goes both ways. So we all use social media, right? Even Daniel now, he is not exempt anymore. His job literally forced him to have social media accounts and to consistently and routinely post on those social media accounts, and he is not happy about it. But anyway, no one doubts that, right? We all use it to some extent, all the different platform options we've got now. But when you really look at the numbers of how many hours we're collectively spending on social media apps, it is pretty staggering. And I'm included in those numbers. So January 2023, Data Reportal published a digital 2023 deep dive, and they found that, quote, despite an overall decrease in the amount of time that people spend using the internet as a whole, which is interesting, new research shows that people are spending more time than ever using social media at the start of 2023. So, the company's latest data reveals that the typical working age internet user now spends more than 2.5 hours per day using just social platforms. So, this is not counting internet usage, this is just straight social media platforms. And that is up by 2% compared with the daily average that the company reported at the start of last year, 2022. Now that number, yes, it's pretty hefty when you do the math, but at least for me, my first reaction when I heard 2.5 hours per day, I'm like, oh, those are rookie numbers. Like, you gotta bump those numbers up. That's nothing, But if you think about it in a different perspective, just imagine if you spent 2.5 hours every single day, no weekends, no breaks, on literally anything else. Imagine how overwhelming and mentally exhausting that would be. But also, can you imagine how amazingly talented you would be at any given thing? If you spent 2.5 hours a day reading or working out or learning a new language or like cooking or cleaning or literally anything, that'd be insane. Every single day, no breaks. No rest days, nothing. That's wild. And now trust me, like I said, that 2.5 hours, I'm absolutely contributing to those numbers, right? So don't think that I'm over here being like, everyone should get off social media. I had to put an app timer, I'm not even gonna lie. I had to put an app timer on my phone, especially once I was on terminal and out of the military, because otherwise I would just be wilding out. Like, you guys know this. Instagram Reels, they are a vortex, okay? Time does not exist there. Reality is just a construct. Like, it is insane. But it's not, I don't think it's all bad. Like, I do find it relaxing sometimes to sit and just scroll through funny corgi videos. And I get a lot of recipes or podcast ideas or whatever. And I also communicate primarily, like I said, through memes and videos. So for me, it's absolutely a form of staying in touch with my friends. Like I said in the last episode, everyone communicates differently. That's my way of communicating. And so that is how I maintain those relationships and those friendships. So I wouldn't want that to go away, especially now that we've moved away from everybody. So everyone is long distance. And so, yeah. Anyway, I don't think it's all bad, is where I'm going with that. And like I said in the other episode too, Daniel doesn't have that. He only has social media accounts for his job, for his professional profile. So he doesn't have like a personal social media account where he can just kind of just keep tabs on his friends and keep his friends updated with huge life changes. And I can see, like I said, where that kind of hinders him from being able to easily keep up with his friends, especially the military ones. And you guys get that. Yeah, I think in that sense, social media is very convenient. And I would argue that it does bring value to my life, just in the forms of social connection. However, of course, like I've always said, humans can't have anything nice, so we kind of wreck everything. There are obviously some very negative effects of social media. And yeah, funny trends, relatable content, fluffy corgi butts, twerking, that's all fine and dandy in moderation. But besides just lost time from endless scrolling, let's talk about some of the more damaging effects of social media usage. So, the McLean Hospital put out an article about social media and mental health back in January of this year about why we are so addicted to social media. And so here's a quote from there. Social media has a reinforcing nature. Using it activates the brain's reward center by releasing dopamine, a feel-good chemical linked to pleasurable activities such as sex, food, and social interaction. The platforms are designed to be addictive and are associated with anxiety, depression, and even some physical ailments. According to the Pew Research Center, 69% of adults and 81% of teens in the US use social media. This puts a large amount of the population at an increased risk of feeling anxious, depressed, or ill over their social media use. The article then goes on to talk about why we continue to perpetuate this behavior if we know this is what it's causing. And I mean, it was pretty spot on. Like, they'd gotten the feedback of a psychologist at the McLean Hospital who works with youth experiencing anxiety disorders. Her name's Dr. Jacqueline Sperling. And she said, when the outcome is unpredictable, the behavior is more likely to repeat. Think of a slot machine. If game players knew they never were going to get money by playing the game, then they would never play. The idea of a potential future reward keeps the machines in use. The same goes for social media sites. One does not know how many likes a picture will get, who will like the picture, and when the picture will receive likes. The unknown outcome and the possibility of a desired outcome can keep users engaged with the sites, unquote. And that same McLean Hospital article also talks about digital vulnerability and the usage of social media by young teens. So they said the earlier teens start using social media, the greater impact the platforms have on mental health. This is especially true for females. While teen males tend to express aggression physically, females do so relationally by excluding others and sharing hurtful comments. Social media increases the opportunity for such harmful interactions, unquote. I think it goes both ways, honestly. I don't think that it's just girls out there spreading hate vibes. I think guys do it just as often. Maybe they're not as aware of it, but they are still just as hateful. So yeah, I mean, we know this, right? People are mean. Teenagers are mean. Teens on social media are mean. They are still mean. And we know this. There are keyboard warriors everywhere. And I feel like social media platforms are getting better at flagging harmful comments, especially just like straight up hate comments. But on the other end, and not gonna lie, like that is definite censorship, which in theory is not good. But unfortunately in our society, I feel like it's kind of required because otherwise who knows what type of hate speech we'd find in the comments of social media. So that's the tough thing. It's like, where do we draw the line? You know what I mean? And even still, even with all the comment flagging, there's still a lot of just mean-spirited comments on people's content. And I know you guys see that all the time too. I know it's not just me. And I'm not gonna lie, that's why I stay out of the comment section of reels and things like that, it kind of just stresses me out reading all the hateful stuff, because it's like half people saying, why would you post this? This is so bad for whatever reason, yada, yada, yada. And the other half of people are defending the creator, but being hateful back to the initial commenter. So it's still just as hateful. It's just, I don't know. I just kind of avoid it. Like, I don't know. I swear, some people really have no filter. And I still remember, this was probably, this was more than 6 years ago, actually. This was probably like 6-7 years ago. I posted a video of me doing an upper body workout exercise. And yes, I know I have a smaller frame. I know I'm small. I'm not exactly proportional, but I'm working on it. And anyway, someone commented on it and was like, oh, great job, whatever. Just don't neglect the leg workouts. And this wasn't a random person. This was like a friend of a friend, like a coworker level acquaintance that I actually liked. We hung out. She was really cool. But why was that comment necessary? Because then I was just hyper focused on like, yep, I do have chicken legs in this video. Thank you for acknowledging my insecurity. Like, just because I'm not doing legs in that video doesn't mean I never hit legs. You know what I mean? But I'm like, you couldn't just leave it at great job. And that's just like a minute example. You know what I mean? There's truly even nothing mean-spirited in that, because I know she meant well. But it's still just, that comment was like, triggering insecurities. You know what I mean? And that's not good. That's not what we're all here for. And this leads me to the next big hitter for negative and damaging effects of social media. Dude, these filters, man, they are out of control. Absolutely out of control. I don't know about TikTok because I don't have TikTok, and I kind of, out of principle, refuse to get a TikTok at this point. But at least on Instagram now, one slight silver lining in this, you can see which filter is being used on videos. But there's still so much editing going on. And also, I'm pretty sure, I'm not positive how to do it because I'm not a content creator and I'm not an influencer. So I'm not very savvy in it. But I'm pretty sure there's a way to edit those videos with the same filters, download them to your phone or like a external storage source somehow, and then re-upload them. And then when you're not applying that filter again in the Instagram like reel or story creation mode, you still get that filter, but without the filter tag. So it looks like you're not wearing a filter. You know what I mean? It's very sneaky, very sneaky. But anyway, even without the filters, there's just so much editing. And as a disclaimer, I'm not talking about the ones that are like color changing or like the AI ones that are just kind of fun to try out. I'm talking like bone structure shifting ones that like just don't even look like you anymore. It's just not the same person. And I feel like it used to be only models or celebrities were the only unrealistic ones in media. And at this point, I'm going beyond social media. I'm talking like on TV, I'm talking in magazines, all this stuff, right? But now it's just everybody. Like I feel like people are unintentionally catfishing the public world, you know? And if y'all want to read the full article by McLean Hospital, you should. It's really good. That psychologist, Dr. Sperling, she goes on to talk about how preteens and teens that are surrounded by all of these unrealistic expectations and the perfect, air quotes, perfect looking people, how that hurts their self-esteem, of course, and it hurts the forming of their own persona. And one quote that I really liked is, she said, middle school already is challenging enough for students with all of their developmental changes. And as they go through puberty, they're tasked with establishing their identity at a time when the frontal lobes in their brains are not fully developed and there's just a straight lack of impulse control, unquote. So I don't even know. Don't even ask me what I'm going to do with little baby Kimchi once she gets to that age, because I don't even know yet. I do not know the correct answer. But enough about the teenagers. What about the adults, right? We're struggling too. So I looked at some stats for aesthetic and cosmetic surgery rates to see if there were any trends, and of course there were. So this is from the International Society of Aesthetic Plastic Surgery. They published some stats from the last 4 years because keep in mind this covers the COVID window. So it did get a little tricky because all elective and non-elective surgeries or procedures were drastically limited. But it's not looking too pretty, pun intended. Haha. It showed a 19.3% overall increase in procedures performed by plastic surgeons in 2021, with more than 12.8 million surgical and 17.5 million non-surgical procedures performed worldwide. The report shows a continuing rise in aesthetic surgery with a 33.3% increase over the last 4 years. Both surgical and non-surgical procedures showed increases since the last survey, which used to be 18.5% and 19.9% respectively, with a significant increase of 54.4% in non-surgical procedures in the last 4 years. Liposuction was the most common cosmetic surgical procedure in 2021, with more than 1.9 million procedures and a 24.8% increase, overtaking breast augmentation, which was also up 3.8%. The top 5 most popular surgical procedures remain liposuction, breast augmentation, eyelid surgery, rhinoplasty, that's a fancy word for a nose job, and abdominoplasty. Now, the top 5 non-surgical procedures, so keep in mind this is stuff like outpatient clinic procedures, right? You've got your Botox, hyaluronic acid, hair removal, skin tightening, and fat reduction. Breast augmentation remains the most common procedure for women for surgical procedures. Face and head procedures increased by 14.8%, with eyelid surgery being the most common procedure and the most popular surgical procedure among men, which I think is pretty interesting. Thigh lifts showed the highest growth for all surgical procedures. That is up 53.1%. Butt lifts and butt augmentations have also increased by 45.7% and 40.5% respectively since 2017. Thank you, Cardi B. Thank you, Megan Thee Stallion, for setting, and thank you, Kim K, for setting unrealistic expectations for what women's bodies' shapes should look like. Really appreciate that. And then the other most common surgical procedures in women remain liposuction and eyelid surgery. Among men, is interesting. The other top 2 are gynecomastia, which is increasing dramatically, and liposuction. And side note, with that gynecomastia, if you guys remember, that's like a huge, dramatic, fancy term for when guys get titties. And so they literally just take the fat out of the boobs. And it's basically just a boob job for guys. But gynecomastia is where straight up just guys grow man boobs. And if y'all remember, what is one of the main side effects of steroid usage? Gynecomastia. So, coincidence? Yep. Any sort of testosterone hormone replacement therapy treatments, any steroid usage, it's connected. I told you guys. Anyway, the other thing that I think is super interesting is that according to some, here we go, Dr. Gianluca Campogliglio, I don't know. He's a plastic surgeon in Italy from the Global Survey editor. They're the ones that published this study. And he said this data clearly reflects the experience of recovery from the previous year's negative impact of COVID-19 on aesthetic procedures, and numbers now exceed the pre-pandemic ones. We noticed an interesting increase in surgical procedures related to so-called, quote, body contouring, such as liposuction, which is now ranked as the most common procedure, ahead of breast augmentation for the first time in many years, unquote. Now, personally, I think the increase in social media usage and filtered content is directly related to this increase in body modification with both surgical and non-surgical methods. I mean, it's just if you're spending 2.5 hours every single day looking at people who are not real, you are going to have unrealistic expectations for what your body should look like. And if there is a procedure out there that can make you look like those people, and if we are conditioned that those people are beautiful and those people are desirable and those people are successful and those people are goals, why would you not do that procedure? You know what I mean? And I will say, because I don't want y'all to think I'm just over here bashing any procedures, I can understand how it is very, very difficult and how it does take an emotional toll and how it can be very, very challenging to look in the mirror and not like what you see, to look in the mirror and not recognize what you see. And so I do think that that does play a big role in it, because that can take a pretty hefty toll on your mental health as well. Absolutely. So I'm not discounting that, especially for some of these minor aesthetic outpatient procedures. Like honestly, Botox, I think the common misconception of Botox used to be, okay, you're going to come out looking like the Joker. You're going to look like Joan Rivers for the rest of your life. And that's actually just not true. I mean, yes, you can overfill. Yes, you can get too much work done. But just straight Botox, it's not actually that dramatic of a change. It's very, very, very minimal. And what I've noticed, because I know a lot of people that get Botox and fillers and the little, what's it called, the lip flips, where it just freezes the muscle right above your Cupid's bow. So when you smile, it's not just all gummy. Like you smile and it basically just freezes your upper lip, so you still have an upper lip in pictures. And it's so minor. Like it's just a little zop zop and then you're done. And it's not even permanent, which I think, I don't know why, I guess I thought Botox was permanent. It's not. Your body naturally like absorbs it, dissolves it, whatever. So it, depending on the person, depending on your active lifestyle, depending on if you're in the sauna a lot, depending on, I guess, a lot of factors, and sometimes just the person, some people just absorb it faster than others, it only lasts like a couple months. And realistically, so many times, my friends have gotten it or whoever has gotten it, and I couldn't even, they're like, yeah, I got some extra Botox 3 days ago. And I'm like, oh, could have fooled me. I had no idea. One girl I know got filler. And she's like, do you notice anything different? I'm like, no. Did you put fake freckles on today? I don't know. She's like, no, like, do you notice anything different on my lips? And I'm like, no. And I felt bad, so I'm like, damn, like, am I supposed to notice it? And she's like, no, that's a good thing, because that means it's not super aggressively noticeable. It's not like obnoxiously fake looking, whatever. Like, it's very, very, very natural. She told me she got filler like the week before, and I was staring at her lips and I'm like, I can't tell a difference, which is a good thing, especially for her, because that was the look that she was going for, was that very natural, subdued, just a nice little accent to just accentuate her normal beauty. And so, yes, all of this to say, I think the misconception is we think of Botox and cosmetic surgeries and any aesthetic procedure as some big, scary, unknown, dramatic change. Like I said, like you're going to come out looking like Michael Jackson after one round of Botox. And that's just not the case. And one thing I will say too that I think is really awesome, because like I said, kind of everyone around me except me, I feel like sometimes, has had some sort of procedure done in some way. But I think it's really awesome that people are actually talking about it now. And again, I don't know if it's because more people are doing it, but I mean, the stats show, yes, they are on a rampant incline. So that's possible. Or B, I'm just at that age now. Like, you know, people at 21 aren't getting Botox. People at 30 are getting Botox. And I'm getting close to 30. So it makes sense that my friends and those around me are going to be doing stuff like this. Or 3, the third option, is people were just always doing it, but they just weren't open about it. They would just lie about it and be like, oh no, it's natural. Or they just wouldn't say anything at all because it's not super obvious, which is also, I think, very, very likely. Kind of like that steroid usage. Except, side note, I don't necessarily condone steroid usage in most cases. But yeah, people were getting it. They were just getting it via illegal methods. They were getting it underground. They were lying about it. And so if you don't speak about it, it doesn't happen, right? Because we know that's how that works. And now people finally feel open and confident enough to say, like, on both sides, yes, I am using steroids, and yes, I am getting Botox. Yes, I am getting fillers. Yes, I did get a Brazilian butt lift. And then we have, honestly, kind of the same discussion points as a steroid usage. Is it a good thing that we're being super honest and open about it? In a way, yes, because now we don't have those unrealistic expectations. We know, hey, it's normal for your upper lip to kind of disappear if you smile. Mine doesn't do that because I got a lip flip. So that's why. And then if you're open about it, those teenagers and those people that are staring at social media for 2.5 hours every day, if you're open about it, they can say, okay, she's like this because she got this procedure done. And then you have those expectations. You're not just thinking that it's natural per se. But then on the other end, it is still perpetuating an unnaturally attainable beauty standard. Because if that's a beauty standard, then that kind of indirectly forces these teenage girls and these young adults and these adults to say like, oh, yes, she got a lip flip to make her smile pretty, but that is what's pretty, that's what's aesthetic, that's what's acceptable, that's what's, successful people look like. I also need to get a lip flip. And so I think that's kind of the bigger picture, is like, how do we get to a point where you can just feel comfortable having a gummy smile? How do we get to the point where you can feel okay with not having a huge butt? I can't say it enough. Like, not everyone has the same genetics. Not everyone is going to have the same body shape. Not everyone is going to be able to achieve certain body shapes just through working out. It just doesn't work like that. And so I think that's kind of the bigger thing, is like, okay, yes, I think it's awesome that we're open about what we're doing. But the fact remains, if you still feel like you have to look a certain way, you have to present a certain image through whatever means necessary in order to be happy, in order to be content in your own skin, in order to do whatever, I think that's something that would be kind of cool if we could shift the mindset in society. And again, I'm not shaming y'all for doing this, because especially, back at Travis, we did a lot of cosmetic surgeries. And a lot of them, like, we did a ton of tummy tucks. The mommy makeovers, I think, where it's like the tummy tuck and the boob job. And honestly, even just this far into my pregnancy, seeing how my body has changed, and especially because I did work so hard to be in the shape that I was before, and to now in such a short amount of time see it just drastically change. You guys don't even want to know what I weigh. I mean, I'm excited about it, and I'm trying hard to still be positive about it. But like I said, it's an identity shift. My body does not look like what it did at the start of this year. And it will probably, realistically, never look like that again. And I'm pretty sure I'm okay with that. But it's also one of those kind of lingering things of like, ooh, this is different. It's that same thing. You're looking in the mirror. This isn't what I used to look like. Is this still Maggie? You know what I mean? And so, yes, if you've been through something, if you've had a tough time, and if it helps your mental health to get that tummy tuck, to get rid of the excess skin, if you've lost a bunch of weight or whatever, is that the worst thing in the world? I think overall, I put more blame and concern on society and beauty standards than I ever actually would on the person, which sounds a little bit backwards because if they're the ones getting the procedure, but I don't know, man. It's so understandable for me to see why they would want to do these procedures. Like, it just makes sense to me why someone would do this procedure, and honestly why they would probably feel happier after they got that procedure. In moderation, of course, because there are some people where it's like you just get a little Botox and then you're like, "Oh, I need more. And they think that's the only way that they're happy is if they have those procedures, and they find themselves feeling really disgusted with their original natural look. And then it just, it can spiral. Everyone spirals sometimes. But then you're getting fillers, and then you're getting, a little bit of shape-shifting action going, and you're getting a little bone and cheek implants, and then you're getting the chin stuff. And then it can just keep snowballing, and then you do look like Joan Rivers. But I've been talking about the girls a lot lately. Let me bring in a little attention for the boys. So there's this company, I guess, called Hustle, and they send out daily emails, which sounds excessive, but it's actually not. But it's just little news snippets, in case you missed it, highlights, and then they'll have everything linked in there. And sometimes it's cool on this day info. Sometimes it's just, oh, it's Friday, here's a cute picture of a little baby animal. Sometimes it's whatever, And the other day, the one they sent out was on Bro Talks, like Botox, but for bros, And I don't know why I didn't piece this together myself, but they brought up the connection between the huge spike in male cosmetic surgeries and then the Barbie movie that just came out with Ryan Gosling and all that. So let me read this for you. So don't be fooled by those blaming Ken's chiseled looks for the sudden rise in male aesthetic procedures like Botox. Dudes have already been making smooth moves in that direction per American Society of Plastic Surgeons data. American men opting for minimally invasive cosmetic procedures increased 29% between 2000 and 2020, long before Gosling added a new wrinkle. So where'd this come from? It's a comparative drop in the bucket. Over the same period, women notched a 114% uptick in the last 20 years. But female dominion over the aesthetics business is nothing new. And male cosmetic enhancements, on the other hand, make for a stigma-busting trend. A med spa owner told the New York Post she has observed a steady increase in male patients, crediting it to a changing attitude towards self-care and grooming, which I think's good. Guys need to take care of themselves too, The Guardian cheekily but accurately notes the beauty industry is resetting men's standards because it's reached a point of total saturation when it comes to making women feel insecure about their appearance. Gotta love that. And then one plastic surgeon put it simply for the Post, men want to look good too. So while treatments like laser skin resurfacing and microdermabrasion have also taken off, Botox is the most common cosmetic procedure among men. American men had 265,000 or more total Botox injections in 2020. And that's during COVID times. Keep that in mind. And that's a 182% increase compared to 2000. And that added to a $6.4 billion Botox market. Dousing this trend in gasoline, TikTok and celebs naturally. On TikTok, the hashtag Botox has accumulated 18.1 million views, while Joe Jonas is playing spokesperson, saying injectables are, quote, not a big deal, unquote. Oh, but they are, Joe. Patients can't lay down for 2 to 4 hours after getting Botox shots. The Jonas brothers must not be big fans of napping like we are. So, Yeah, I like the way they write these too. If you guys, you should sign up for it. It's just nice to kind of get the little snippets of info. If you read it, if you don't read it, if you glance through it, whatever. It's called The Hustle. It's pretty easy to just add to the subscribing list. But yeah, that is my take on social media and filters and cosmetic and aesthetic procedures. Like I said before, you can maybe dislike the society that forces us to do these unrealistic beauty expectations, but don't hate the person, is all I'll say. That's how I kind of feel about it. But that is all for me. Even though it is hot as balls out, we are going to a apple cider market fall fest at some apple orchard farm place today. Because again, why wait? I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to wait for a perfect fall afternoon because one, who knows when that'll be? And two, who knows if I'll have time that weekend? Who knows if it's not going to be raining that weekend? Who knows if baby's going to be here that weekend and I'm going to be dead and asleep? Who knows? So we're just going to go today when it's super hot out because that's when it is. So yes, just send it, make good choices, be a decent human being, take care of each other, be nice to each other. Please do not leave any hate comments today. If you are not sure if it's a hateful comment, maybe err on the side of caution and do not post it. And yeah, honestly, just thank you so much. Thank you so much for getting this far into the episode. Thank you so much for all of my loyal listeners that still listen each and every episode. I know you guys have more important things to do in your life. And quite honestly, I know that there are more engaging, entertaining, more professionally produced podcasts out there. But it really does mean a lot to me that you guys support me in this. And I just really appreciate it. Each and every one of y'all. And I promise once I'm still deciding on the milestone if I want to go by followers or if I want to, or like subscribes, or if I want to go by just total listens or whatever, or a number of episodes. But once I decide on a benchmark, and once I set that benchmark, I will let you guys know. And when we hit that goal, I will get you guys a little swag, maybe like a tumbler or some stickers or something. I want to do something cool, like some merchandise with the logo on it. So yeah, we'll see. I will keep y'all updated. I will catch y'all next week. Okay, bye.